Okay, so I think I figured out what's going on with my database, and I'm going to kind of give it a go in this presentation. So let me share my screen. Okay, so I just signed into the database, and it's letting me access the files. So I wanted to go over first, get my notes here, about authentication. So Windows authentication uses encrypted messages for security in SQL Server. If you're only using SQL Server logins, the passwords are sent across the network, and that's not very good for security. So authentication has two different security subsystems. There's Windows security and database engine security. Windows security is at the operating system level, whereas database engine security is at the system level. So the authorization differs from this because the database administration can grant or deny a vast number of users for different areas in the database. An example of authorization would be setting up a new user. So I've gone ahead and done that. Let's see. Should be in security. So down here, I've got Rachel Carver, Sam the clerk is still there, and Sebastian Tanner. So what I did to do that is I right-clicked on the server, I went to properties, and then security, kind of like I just showed right there. A side note is to be careful with permissions, because granting select permission on a fixed database, which is public, will grant access to current users and future users. I remember going over that in the studying this week, that if you grant someone the authority, they can add other people to it, and you don't want the security to get out of control. Schemas give added flexibility and control of security. So how I created my schemas was I right-clicked on the database. And then I expanded the bowling league example. And then I right-clicked on security. And then you go to new and then schema. I'm not going to do it again. I've done 4 of those. You can see the new schema under security and schemas. And to change their location, you right-click the table and click design. Under the schema option, I split the tables between 4 schemas. And to create the new users, I went to security and logins, just like I've done right here. I right-clicked on it and clicked new user. I created names for 4 new people. I was using family members. And then I went to user mapping and selected which databases they had rights to. So I think Rachel here has rights to the bowling league. Yeah, so she's got access to the bowling league example. I'm going to go ahead and try and code. I think the problem I was running into is when I was switching users and I switched to Rachel, it wouldn't let me access any of the database, which is good because that means it's working. But I had to exit out and exit back in to try and get myself in permission again. So I'm going to go ahead and try and use this code right here. So she's the bowling league example. And this is from the video I watched. So I'm going to grant a select on DBO. In the bowling league example. To Rachel Carver. And then I'm going to hit go. So let's run that. And I'm hoping this works. Let's see. And that's where I'm running into the problem. So technically this should work. And then I can go to users and I would change this to SQL Server, type in her password and connect. And then she should only have rights to the bowling league database. So let's see here. Well, it looks like she can select that. Let's see if we can go to a different one. And she doesn't have access to that one. So I'm not sure why it threw this error, but it looks like it is working that she only has access to the bowling league example.